opponent. And as you can see, Suwak will be playing as Beast in this matchup in the top right corner. And then we have Ferus in the bottom left corner playing as Empire. In this matchup, I think Suwak had Empire ban and Ferus had Beast ban. So they just kinda swapped the races based on their bans. Ferus, I think, was considering going Fallen, but then he decided to swap to Empire. As you can see, it's going for a front base, kinda just closing the entrance here to possibly unlock the option for a really safe expansion later on. And Suwak will be going basically for the same strategy, just with Beast, as you can see a little bit later. Actually, this minion is going for Scout, and this one will be probably going to be building the arena here. And this minion will try to get into the enemy base and possibly just scout here, maybe even some tower, as we will see. Right now, obviously, both players are spamming more villagers on gold just to increase their basic income. Also, stables are already placed down. It's always nice to make them at the same time as arena, because you also have to produce the Boron. And together it takes pretty similar amount of time. We also see farm being built in the front, even though it's a little bit squishier building. He really wants to close this as soon as possible so we can place a tower behind it. We see Suwak actually attacking the peasant, slowing Ferus down a little bit in terms of building this tower. He needs to retreat a little bit. Obviously, minion is much stronger than peasant, because you just have better stats. Yeah, you have 1 more damage and 30 more HP, even though it costs the same. Same gold, same population, same production time, so minion is just overall better. But actually Ferus is able to force the minion back with another peasant. He's also producing a swordsman already, and now he decided to fully block this entrance with second barracks. Obviously he's playing Empire, so he can still get his small units through the barracks out of this base, but Suwak won't be able to get through this wall of Ferus too easily. Ferus was also scouting in Suwak's base, but this is also fully closed, I think, with these Borons on hold position, so he decided to run away. And Suwak is not really doing anything extra there. Now he started producing his second warrior, but he's not really making any advanced buildings. So this minion is kind of just running around from this warrior, avoiding the damage. He's trying to stay alive for as long as possible, so we can scout here even in the late game, and also possibly try to maybe build something here, but probably not. This peasant is kind of stuck here. We'll see, he'll probably move him away from his town. The tower is also already being built, even though it's not full HP. He should probably repair this, but I don't think he will see that. No gems yet. 2 peasants on wood, but he's going for stone keep. No more swordsmen for now, but he has the tower now. Of course, warriors cannot push through this. If he had goblin hunters, he could potentially just hit these barracks from here, and the tower wouldn't have the range to shoot the hunters back. But Suwak is finally going for the goblin hut, so he will definitely get the goblin hunters and riders pretty soon. You can see Suwak is already getting a ton of gems with 3 minions on gems. And as you can see, the minion finally fell. So right now there is no more scouting for Suwak in Ferus town. Suwak now went for expansion and immediately Ferus as well, even though he had way more resources, so Ferus could have started this way earlier. But he waited, and now they are basically expanding at the exact same time. Both of them have full wall, but Suwak has the advantage of this movable wall, because he's of course closing it with his units with hold position, while of course Ferus has this fully blocked with his buildings, so that's the small difference here. We see second farm in the back. Ferus is definitely really short on population here, as you can see, 10 population behind, and we are also counting the maximum population here, even though they have basically the same resources, while Suwak also has way more gems, so even now I think Suwak is definitely way ahead already. He's also starting to stack his goblin hunters to prepare some decent push. This warrior is just scouting the bases around just to check if Ferus is potentially going for some expansions. Will it back me or maybe next time? A prediction. Thanks for donation, Soulskeeper. Yeah, so we see Blacksmith from Ferus now and also 11th century. So definitely he's trying to prepare for some more advanced units. Obviously this is definitely indicating some Valkyries or at least Phoenixes for some scouting or potentially anti-air. But as you can see, he's also placing a second 11th century right here. This is the peasant that was kept outside of his town before, so now he's definitely able to use him. And Ferus is also placing down a temple, so he's definitely unlocking many units at once. Yeah, pikemen, phoenixes, dryads, priests, and elf rangers, and potentially Valkyries pretty soon. So definitely a huge technology advancement. And Suwak is going for Dark Archer as well, so he will unlock Bestiary and Lizard Fortress. And he's still kinda just scouting around the map. He has only 4 Borons, but still way more population than Ferus. I'm really not sure where all the resources of Ferus were into. Probably just more buildings and infrastructure, but he definitely doesn't have that many more resources, but he's way behind on population. Like now going for the Bestiary, a little bit too in the back, I would say. He could definitely place it just right here to have it a little bit closer, but naturals are not super slow, catapults are slower, so it's not that big of a deal. Ferus actually decided to cancel the temple here. I think he needed the resources to build the Valkyrie beacon in this location, pretty far away from everything, so it's not even scouted by Harpies or anything, just really away from the town. Unlocking the Valkyries, and he also has 1 Phoenix. He's not scouting with him yet, I think that's a small mistake, he should be utilizing him. He's scouting with a peasant anyways, but I think he will start moving somewhere pretty soon. We see another farm here, and finally the temple is being placed again. Here I see a huge mistake. He's not producing any peasants in either of his town halls, but as you can see, he doesn't have the population, yeah? So he's just really behind on farms. Now he's trying to catch up with improved farming, but he just has this expansion basically empty, while Suwak is getting full value from this. So even though they started the expansions at the exact same time, Ferus is definitely a lot behind in terms of resources at this moment, and that definitely also really influenced this huge population difference. Yeah, that's 19, now 18 population difference. Second tower is being placed by Ferus, also another farm. I don't see any upgrades in Blacksmith, but finally also Valkyries are being produced in both 11th centuries. Both players just kinda running with their peasants and minions around the map. Ferus now also finally utilizing his Phoenix. Even though there is not much to scout, none of the players decided to go for another expansion somewhere secretly, so this is not gonna do much. But Suwak probably didn't find out about this 11th century yet, so that might be a small advantage for Ferus, but to be honest, it's not really useful for anything. Suwak already has a totem in his main base. He's also getting some upgrades here. More goblin hunters. As you can see, he has already pretty solid army. 2 trolls, 3 witches, some goblin hunters. Actually, lots of goblin hunters and few goblin riders, but also keeping some Borons without goblin riders. So he can use them for healing by sacrificing them with his witches. And he also has a harpy now to scout, of course, and also potentially confuse some units, mainly catapults. You can see Ferus is already building his gnome workshop. And here he has his Valkyrie. He's not really utilizing them for anything. This is another mistake. He went for air, and he should definitely utilize the moment of surprise. Right now he's not even producing new Valkyries, now he started one here. But he should be just using them, try to harass the minions or something. He's not really doing much. Now he actually got scouted by this Harpy, I think. So Suwak will now know about these Valkyries, and he will try to counter them pretty quickly, I think. Even though his army is already pretty decent against Valkyries. No workshop is finished now. Temple as well, but we see only 1 priest. That's trying to get a second expansion, third base in total. I don't think it was scouted yet by Suwak, but maybe this Harpy will now find out about it, we'll see. Suwak has 1 warrior here all the time, yeah, the whole game in front of the Ferus base, so we see all the ground units that could be leaving this town. You also see one minion right here, not sure what he's trying to do with him. Maybe build some front base to reproduce units a little bit more quickly. Or he can maybe try to take an expansion here, but that wouldn't be the best position, I guess. Some units queued up here, but once again, Ferus really struggling with population. I think this is one aspect he should definitely focus on, because it slowed down his peasants on his expansion, and now also slowing down his units during the whole game. As you can see, it's already 30 population behind. That's just really a lot. And he has the resources to build the farms, and now he's just sitting on ton of resources, not really spending them too effectively. And he's already starting to get pressured by these trolls of Suwak. Harpies are also already prepared here to confuse any catapults, but Ferus has only one catapult ready, so that's not even a threat for these three trolls. Those are obviously getting a ton of attack speed buffs from these witches. They have Bloodlust, they have the speed boost. Second catapult was created, but Suwak doesn't really need to push into this. He can just really safely shoot the towers from the north with his trolls. As you can see, more trolls are coming. He already has 4 here. He can easily full heal them by sacrificing the barons that he kept there. And he's really 40 population ahead right now. He's going to confuse the catapult now. Just make sure that these Valkyries will do nothing to the army by attacking them with his harpies. And as you can see, the army just totally one-shotted all the melee units there. He has ton of goblin hunters. All of these would really easily die to catapults, but obviously Ferus would need like 10 of them, especially when 3 of them would get instantly confused. But he had only like 2. Didn't really do any splash damage to this, so he got totally ran over, and as you can see, he ended up with almost 2000 gold. Decent amount of gems and lots of wood, so just overall a pretty poor resource management here. And also army composition that definitely costed him the game here. Obviously this is GG. He tried some push with Valkyries here on these minions, but he even died to the totems here. I think there were 2 of them. He maybe destroyed 1, but didn't really do any damage there. Yeah, Suwak in the end didn't even try to make the third base. But even though Ferus tried, there are no peasants yet anyway, so he didn't get any value from that. And I think overall he will have less resources, because as I said, Suwak was getting full value from this. I don't know how many minions he has here, but it's like 20 or something. And as we saw, Ferus had like 4 here for a really long time. Towards the end he was saying here that he doesn't know how to play Empire Relay, and he just didn't want to go Fallen because everyone is hating on it, but anyways, he decided to go Empire here. Didn't really pay off for him, but Suwak is of course a really good player, so maybe even if it was Fallen, it would maybe end up the same. I think he will maybe surrender now, not sure. But Suwak should find out about this expansion pretty quickly. He has his RPs here. Yeah, and Ferus leaves, which makes Suwak victorious and also awards him a point in the second round. So yeah, let's check the result. 17 minutes, 20 seconds. Here you can see the kills. As you can see, only 8 kills from Ferus, 57 from Suwak while losing only 11 units. Which means he one-shotted 3 of his units, I think, but that doesn't really matter. Maybe that was actually also with sacrifices. Maybe that's counted in this, I'm not exactly sure right now. But also the experience difference is huge. Largest army. Way more upgrades and resources, yeah, also a lot. 3,500 gold. And like 600 gems.